If you're not new here, you already know I'm partial to shadow magic, so this is the last in our Working with Your Element series, and we're going to focus on shadow and light. Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Amy. If you're new here, I am a witch, a spiritual guide, and an energy healer. If you're not new here, you knew all of that already. Thanks for coming back. So today I want to talk about shadow and light. I'm doing one episode for both of them because they work together so closely, and I really can't talk about one without mentioning the other. So we're just gonna do it all together, and I hope that it's helpful. I hope that it makes sense. Please let me know if I left something important out, there's something you still want to know, or if you try these exercises, I really want to know about that. Do your homework and then tell me you did it. Leave it in the comments down below, or a DM on Instagram is also great too. Oh man, I am so excited. I am partial to this element. It is my favorite, but that's because it's my primary element. So surprise, surprise. Working with shadow, working with light. Okay. These are two separate elements, and often a person will have one as their primary. Not very often is a person a shadow and a light witch, that because they're on like opposite sides of the element circle spectrum thing. I'll throw up a graphic here. Okay, so as you can see, all of the elements have opposing elements on the elemental wheel. The difference with light and shadow is that they work together, so you really could use both. You just have to be that kind of person, and you have to be careful, and you have to know the limitations. Well, just don't make yourself sick. Don't wear yourself out. I don't feel like it's okay to put limitations on a person's power. So if you've got a way to make them work together, that's awesome. That's awesome. More power to you. Okay, so shadow. Your first task when you are developing your shadow magic skills is to be somewhere there are shadows. It is easiest if they are outside and they are natural shadows. If you're in a park at night, that is my favorite way to do it. Being outside, because you've got some of those lights out there too, and so you and your light magic partner, if you're lucky enough to have one, can do this work together, right? So focus on the shadow. Look at the spot of darkness on the ground. You want to look at it, meditate on it almost like you would a flame, like a candle if you're doing a candle meditation. Wow, stumbling on my words today. All right, so I want you to focus on the shadow on the ground. I want you to focus on what makes it a shadow. I want you to feel the shadow in your soul, like in your being. I want you to become the shadow and the shadow to become you. Mix your energy with that of the shadow. Let the shadow wash over you as well, the energy of it. Reach out to it with your hands if it makes it easier for you, because a lot of us channel a ton of energy through our hands. So you can do that. You can reach out toward the shadow if you want to. This element is a little bit different because it doesn't exactly have molecules like water, air, earth, or fire do, but it does exist. It does have energy. It does move and live and breathe. So I want you to focus on the shadow, focus on it getting darker, denser, focus on it changing shape. And then once you've got an idea of how to make a shadow creep, how to make a shadow retreat, how to make it move and live and breathe and really summon it with your energy, then you can create forms with the shadow. You can summon something made of shadow, out of the shadow, give it life, give it form, and watch it move. I call them minions because I'm super original. They can be very helpful. They can be very useful. And because they have been created purely with your intent and just the matter that is shadow, they can go pretty much anywhere. And you can use them to see things. Oh my gosh, there's so much. You can use them for protection, right? You can use them as like spies. If you want to see something in another room and you don't want to astral project, you can use shadow creatures as a form of astral projection, as a form of seeing somewhere where you're not. You can use them to keep an eye on people. Don't spy on people. But you can, if say you want to protect somebody and you're not sure where they are or how they're doing, you can summon a shadow creature minion to show you. And you can also use them to set up a perimeter. If you're doing something and you feel like there might be something malicious nearby, then your shadow thing can be the first one to let you know. You can have them dance around you. You can use them for rituals and for sacrifices, and it's beautiful. It is beautiful. You can truly create life out of the darkness, and it is mind-blowing. It's amazing. Similarly, if you're a light element, switching gears here, in that same park or in that same area, focus on the light from the street lamps or whatever. Focus on that becoming brighter. Focus on the source of the light, the pureness of the light, the molecules in the light. I don't know if light really has molecules. I'm not sciencey, but focus on the pure essence of the light itself, becoming one with the light becoming one with you. Let it wash over you. And focus on it becoming brighter. Focus on it swelling and being overwhelming and just being the purest, brightest light you can possibly imagine. And then imagine it getting dimmer, larger and smaller. Imagine it moving. Imagine it living and breathing and becoming part of you as you become part of it. Focus on the light. Expand the molecules in your brain and make it move. You can also make it bigger. You can make it smaller. You can rid shadows with light, as you can also rid light with shadows. You can play with making the light bulb brighter. You can also summon helpful beings out of the light. Now, light is not my specialty. Obviously, I'm a shadow witch, so there is a lot more that you can do with light magic that I actually personally don't fully understand. So if you have had experiences with light magic, if you're a light witch and you have more experience with it, please leave your information. Let's talk about it in the comments down below, because I would love to hear about it. And anybody else who's here and who is looking for help with light magic would also greatly benefit from that. So thank you in advance. Also, the important thing to remember with this and with any element is that magic practicing a new skill is the same as like exercising, right? You're not going to build muscles if you're not working muscles regularly. And similarly, you can lose your muscles if you're not using them. So it's really important that you don't get too frustrated. And if you do, stop and come back and practice again. Don't give up. Do this multiple times. If you try it once and you're like, I can't do it, then either the element doesn't resonate with you, which could be the case, but chances are you're just not believing in yourself and you're not giving it an ample amount of time. You're not practicing enough. You don't believe that you can do it. And look, your magic, it is supported and made real with your intent, with your belief. So if you don't believe that you can do it and you don't believe that it's going to work 90% of the time, probably more than that, it isn't going to work, or else it isn't going to work how you want it to. So it's really important that you don't be too hard on yourself and like say mean things to yourself when you're practicing these things, because this is not stuff that society thinks that we can do. This is not stuff that is something that society says that is real, right? Society has painted a picture about magic that is Disney and Harry Potter, which I love, by the way, but it has put magic in a sort of imaginary bubble so that when real witches and things come up and when stuff happens, we have an idea in our minds about what we can do and what we can't do. We put limitations on our power. And I think that that's one of the ways that in the modern day, witches are controlled. I mean, fortunately, we're not getting burned anymore, but oh gosh, that I know of. In the US, we're not getting burned anymore. And we're very fortunate that we have a modicum of safety here. And especially with the internet now, we can band together, we can be family, we can support each other. And that is a beautiful, amazing thing that a lot of our ancestors did not have. But that doesn't mean that we should limit ourselves. It doesn't mean that we should limit our power. It doesn't mean that just because our logical minds or society says that moving a tree is not possible, that it actually isn't. The thing that makes it impossible is the lack of belief. Being a witch means that you are a co-creator of your reality. It means that you can move everything, anything. You just have to do it. So don't give up on yourself. If you want to see things about what I do, sometimes I write stuff and I paint stuff and I make things like sigils and things, and I put pictures of those things in my life on Instagram, and also my dog. She's adorable. I also post spiritual thoughts and blog posts and such on Instagram as well. It's also a good way to contact me if you want to DM me on Instagram. So follow me on Instagram if you're not already. And if you want to see more videos like this from me, if you found this useful, please consider supporting me on Patreon. First level patrons will receive a free tarot or oracle reading from me. You'll also get a video shout out, and you'll also get to have input on future videos that I make and the content that happens and the different things that I develop. I'm working on a book, and I'm working on some other training materials for you guys that weren't around when I was learning this stuff. So I feel like it would be helpful for you. And your support means that I can do that. So help me out if you feel like that's the right thing to do and you want to be a part of the inner circle. Go ahead and head on over to Patreon. Thank you so much, you guys. This is definitely the longest of my elemental videos, but I'm very excited about it. And if you have further questions about what to do with these elements and how to practice them and exercise them, leave your questions in the comments down below, and I'll make follow-up videos if I need to. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day.